Hello students, welcome back to Edviz Learning. We are on chapter number 5 of geometry, that is coordinate geometry, and we have already started with the first practice set in the chapter, that is practice set 5.1, which is based on the distance formula. So we learned last time in the session that when we have to find out the distance between 2 points on the coordinate axis, अगर हम लोग ग्राफ पेपर पे कहीं पे भी 2 पॉइंट्स प्लॉट करें और उन दोनों के बीच में का अगर मुझे डिस्टेंस वी हैव टू फाइंड इट बाय अ फॉर्मूला, वी कैन डू दैट बाय यूजिंग द डिस्टेंस फॉर्मूला, दैट इज डिस्टेंस बिटवीन 2 पॉइंट्स सपोज A and B is equal to square root of that is x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. यहाँ पे x1 x2 y1 y2 क्या है? दोनों पॉइंट्स के कोऑर्डिनेट्स है. पॉइंट A सपोज इज x1, y1 and point B suppose is x2, y2. So इन दोनों पॉइंट्स के बीच में का डिस्टेंस अगर मुझे फाइंड करना है, we do that by using the distance formula. Based on this formula, we had started the practice at 5.1 and we have finished till question number 7. There is only one more question left in the exercise now. Let us solve that also, which is the last question, question number 8. Okay, going on to the next page. 5.1 question number 8. I'll read the question. Show that the points A 1,2, B 1,6 and C 1 plus 2 root 3, 4. So there is a point C 1 plus 2 root 3, 4, which is the only tricky part here. Okay, there are 3 points A, B and C. We have to prove that these are vertices of an equilateral triangle. ठीक है, मतलब A, B, C जो 3 points है, when you plot them on the graph paper, they should form an equilateral triangle. So how do we prove this? Simple. If it is an equilateral triangle, all the 3 distances between AB, between BC and between AC, they should be equal. Correct? तो हम लोगों को यहाँ पे बस distance formula apply करके ये find out करना है कि whether the 3 distances are equal or not. If they are equal, it is an equilateral triangle और prove हो गया. ठीक है? Which is the motto of this question. Let us try to solve this now. First, we will find out distance between AB. Okay, 2 points A and B. By distance formula, as I told you earlier, I am not going to write the formula again. We'll directly solve the question. So this is square root of, okay, I'll write the points first so that you have some reference of what we are doing. Point A is given in the question, that is 1,2. Point B is also given in the question, that is 1,6. And point C is 1 plus 2 root 3, 4. These 3 are the points given in the question. So first we will find out distance AB. This will be equal to square root of x2 minus x1. यहाँ पे x2 is 1, x1 is also 1. This is the x coordinate in both the points. So 1 minus 1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 will be 6 minus 2. So 6 minus 2 the whole square. This will be equal to square root of 0 square plus 4 square. Okay, so we are finally getting square root of only 4 square, that is 16. So the answer is 4 units. Okay, this is the distance between points A and B. Now let us find out the distance between points B and C. So distance between B and C will be equal to square root of, once again, x2 minus x1. x2 is 1 plus 2 root 3, the entire thing. 1 plus 2 root 3 is x2 minus x1, which is 1, the whole square. Okay, this is x2 minus x1 plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. So y2 here is 4 minus 6 the whole square. Okay, so this will be equal to square root of, here 1 minus 1 will get cancelled and only thing left is 2 root 3 square plus 4 minus 6 is minus 2 square. Okay, now 2 square we already know it is 4. What is root 3 square? So last year in the 9th standard we have already studied that if we square a third, what the value that we get is the वैल्यू अंडर द रूट इटसेल्फ. स्क्वायर रूट ऑफ 3 का स्क्वायर अगर करेंगे तो जो रूट वाला साइन है वो कैंसल आउट हो जाएगा. द आंसर विल बी 3 ओनली. सो फॉर दिस इफ वी स्क्वायर दिस वी विल गेट 2 स्क्वायर दैट इज 4 multiplied by root 3 square that is 3 plus minus 2 square, even if it is a negative number, the square will be positive 4. Okay, so 4 plus 3, 4 into 3 is 12, plus 4, 16. Again, we are getting root 16. The answer is 4 units. So far, two of the distances, we are getting them as same, 4 units and 4 units. Let's find out the final distance, points A and C. So let us do that. Distance between A and C will be equal to, once again, square root of x2 minus x1. So 1 plus 2 root 3 minus 1, the whole square, plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. So 4 minus 2 the whole square. Okay, upon solving this, once again, it is the same bracket. If you notice here and here, it is the same bracket. So iska answer bhi aayega 2 root 3 ka hi square plus 2 square. So finally we are getting 12 plus 4 once again, that is root 16, which is nothing but 4 units. Okay, now we have all the three distances equal. That means the triangle formed by these three vertices is an equilateral triangle. So it is proved. So finally we will write, therefore, distance AB is equal to distance BC is equal to distance AC. Hence, A, B and C are vertices of an equilateral triangle. Okay, this is what we had to prove. Now with this we have finished the first practice set 5.1. I'll give you 30 seconds to write this down. Please make a note of this quickly, then we'll start with the next part of the chapter. Okay students, so now let us start with the next part of the chapter. Okay, going to the next page. We are going to talk about something called as section formula. But before that, there is one thing that you should know in advance. Okay, we have to recall something that we did in the 9th standard, the properties of parallel lines. Okay, if I draw three parallel lines, suppose this, this and this, there are three parallel lines, and on these parallel lines, if I draw different transversals, there is a transversal L and M. Okay, we have learnt last year that the intercepts made by these parallel lines, they are proportional to each other. Meaning kya hua? If this is point A, this is point B, this is point C, this is point P, this is point Q, this is point R. So anywhere on the line, if the intercepts ka ratio we check, okay, the ratio of intercepts will be equal for every line. For example, AB upon BC will be equal to PQ upon QR. Okay, between the same parallel lines, AB upon BC will be equal to PQ upon QR. Okay, the intercepts made by same line, they are proportional. This property you have to keep in mind while I derive the section formula. Okay, now let us go to section formula. Suppose we have the two coordinate axes. This is the y-axis, this is the x-axis. Okay, and I have two different points on this coordinate axis. Suppose this is point A. The coordinates of point A are x1, y1, and I have a point B. The coordinates of point B are x2, y2. Okay, and if I draw a line joining the 2 points, from here to here, okay, and I'm telling you that there is a one more point between A and B, okay, which is dividing the line joining A and B into two parts. Suppose this is the point, okay, point X. We don't know the coordinates, so I'll write X comma Y. Okay, now this point is dividing the line in two equal parts. It can be any two different parts. For example, अगर मैंने पहले बोल दिया कि this is a line of 10 centimeter, okay, so this part can be 2, this part can be 8, or 3, 7, or 4, 6, anything is possible, okay, that is not important. We have to find out the coordinates of the point that will divide the line in two parts m:n. अगर कोई भी रेशियो हो तो ये पॉइंट हम लोग कैसे फाइंड आउट कर सकते हैं, इसी के लिए हम लोग यूज करते हैं सेक्शन फॉर्मूला. Okay, suppose the parts are m and n. The ratio of the two parts is m:n. Okay, so we have to find out कि what is the point that is dividing the line in the ratio m:n. For that we have to find the formula. तो हम लोगों को बेसिकली ये x और ये y फाइंड आउट करने के लिए कोई फॉर्मूला चाहिए. अब ये कैसे फाइंड आउट करेंगे? इट्स वेरी सिंपल. सी, the coordinates of point A are x1 and y1. So on x axis this point is projected here. Suppose this is x1, okay, that is why this is x1. This will be perpendicular, correct? And now if I do the same thing for point B, okay, drop a perpendicular on x axis, this point will be x2. That is the concept, correct? This is x2. Similarly, if there is a random point in between which is dividing the line in two parts, and I draw a perpendicular from that point on x axis once again, this point will be what? X, which we need to find out. Okay, इसके लिए हम लोगों को formula find out करना है. So we have to find this x and y. Now, the property that I told you earlier about parallel lines, we are going to use it here. ठीक है? This is point P, suppose, point Q and point R. Okay. Now clearly these three lines are parallel to each other. Okay, how do we know? 90, 90, 90. Okay, internal angles का sum अगर 180 है, then you can say it is parallel. Corresponding angles अगर 90, 90 है, तो then you can say it is parallel. So any test you can apply here. These three lines are parallel to each other. Now, if these three lines are parallel to each other, these are the intercepts. Okay, AX का corresponding will be PQ. XB का corresponding will be QR. Okay, that means what? They are proportional. These are the intercepts. That's why they are proportional to each other. So AX upon XB will be equal to PQ upon QR. Okay, this is what we have learnt. Correct? These are the intercepts. Now, using this, we can substitute the values. What are the values? See, what is distance PQ? So, from 0 to x, the distance is x, and from 0 to P, the distance is x1. So, what is only this distance? It is x minus x1. Correct? This is x minus x1. And what is the distance between Q and R? Similarly, by applying the same logic, it is x2 minus x. Okay, this is just about observation. You can clearly see this distance is x2 minus x. This distance is x minus x1. Now, PQ का value हम लोगों को पता चल गया. This is x minus x1 divided by QR का value x2 minus x. And we already know AX, एक part हम लोगों ने m लिया हुआ है. Correct? M upon the second part is n. So m upon n is equal to x minus x1 upon x2 minus x. So we have to find the value of this x. That is why we are using this formula. ठीक है? If we cross multiply here, what we will get is m into x2 minus x equal to n into x minus x1. Correct? Open the brackets. mx2 minus mx equal to nx minus nx1. Now, since we need to find the value of x, हम लोग क्या करेंगे? Like terms को एक साइड ले लेंगे. So minus mx, if we take on the other side, एंड माइनस nx1 को इस साइड लेके आ गए, दिस बिकम्स mx2 प्लस nx1 इक्वल टू, ऑन द अदर साइड इट विल बी mx plus nx. Okay, here since we have to find the value of x, we will take it common. ब्रैकेट में क्या बचेगा, m plus n multiplied by x, and here it will be mx2 plus nx1. Okay, so from this clearly the value of x will be what? Take this m plus n on the other side, it will come in the denominator. Okay, this will be equal to mx2 plus nx1 upon m plus n. Okay, so ये जो पॉइंट है जो इसको m/n रेशियो में डिवाइड कर रहा है, इसका जो x वाला कोऑर्डिनेट था उसको हम लोगों ने फाइंड आउट कर दिया यूजिंग द फॉर्मूला. सिमिलरली, एग्जैक्टली सिमिलर टू दिस, वी कैन फाइंड आउट द वैल्यू ऑफ y ऑल्सो. बट उसके लिए क्या करना पड़ेगा, ये जो प्रोजेक्शंस हम लोगों ने x एक्सिस पे लिया है वो बस y एक्सिस पे लेना पड़ेगा. ठीक है, दिस पॉइंट विल बी हियर, दिस पॉइंट विल बी हियर. ओके, एंड व्हाट विल बी दीज पॉइंट्स, दिस इज व्हाट, y1, this is y2 and this is y. Okay, so same logic से हम लोगों को y का क्या पॉइंट मिलेगा, similarly y will be equal to my2 plus ny1 divided by m plus n. So this is what you need to remember. This is the section formula. Why section? The word itself means to divide. Okay, that's why it's section formula. So the value of x is mx2 plus nx1 upon m plus n, and the value of y is my2 plus ny1 upon m plus n. Now when you use this formula while solving the question, don't forget the position. मतलब अगर मैं ये point find out कर रहा हूं, the value of x is m into x2. okay, opposite लेना है हमेशा, m into x2 plus n into x1, once again opposite, अपॉन m प्लस n. ओके, सो ये सीक्वेंस में बहुत बार लोग मिस्टेक कर देते हैं, इसीलिए मैं बोल रहा हूं कि डोंट फॉरगेट द पोजीशन ऑफ ईच एंड एवरीथिंग. सो दिस इज सेक्शन फॉर्मूला, यू हैव टू रिमेंबर दिस थॉरली. नाउ देयर आर टू मोर फॉर्मूलाज derived from the section formula itself, okay, that we are going to use in the next exercise. What are those formulas? Let us check. There is something called as the midpoint formula. Now what is midpoint formula? Okay, the name itself suggests that if I take 2 points, point A, x1 comma y1, point B, x2 comma y2, okay, and I join this line, midpoint formula gives us a formula to find the point which will be exactly in between the two given points. ठीक है, मतलब अगर मुझे इस पॉइंट का कोऑर्डिनेट्स फाइंड करना है x, y, where the line is divided in two equal parts, then how do we find it? The formula is, we will derive the formula. ठीक है, suppose the ratio is m, एक पार्ट अगर m है तो ऑब्वियसली दूसरा पार्ट सेम होने की वजह से वो भी m हो जाएगा. मतलब रेशियो क्या होगा, m अपॉन m, मतलब 1 अपॉन 1. करेक्ट. सो इंस्टेड ऑफ राइटिंग एनीथिंग एल्स, मैं रेशियो में डायरेक्टली क्या लिखूंगा, 1:1. बोथ द पार्ट्स आर सेम. That means what? Section formula. Now try to remember the section formula. अगर मुझे midpoint का x coordinate find करना है, तो according to section formula, the formula is mx2 plus nx1 upon m plus n. Correct? But यहाँ पे m और n दोनों 1 है, and we just need to substitute that here. 1 into x2 plus 1 into x1 upon 1 plus 1. That means what? Formula क्या हो गया? x1 plus x2 divided by 2. This is the x coordinate. ठीक है. So whenever it is given to you in the question that the point of section is nothing but the midpoint, the x coordinate will be x1 plus x2 upon 2. Similarly, y coordinate will be y1 plus y2 upon 2. ठीक है. y के लिए कुछ अलग नहीं कर रहे हम लोग, we are doing the same thing. So this is the midpoint formula. So section formula, उसके ऊपर ही based, there is midpoint formula. There is one more formula now, something called as centroid formula. ठीक है. Now what is a centroid? We all know that a centroid is nothing but the point of intersection of three medians of a triangle. Okay, so suppose this is triangle ABC and these three are the medians. I hope you know the meaning of the word median. Median is something joining the midpoint of a side to the opposite vertex. The line joining the midpoint of a side to the opposite vertex is called the median. ठीक है, मतलब ये AM is the median for side BC. Similarly, this will be CN is the median for side AB. Okay, and this is suppose O, so BO is the median for side AC. Now midpoint मतलब I've already told you what midpoint. ये scrap करो sir midpoint वाला line. Okay, so this is the meaning of the word median. So whenever the three medians inside a triangle, they will intersect at one point, that point is called centroid. ठीक है, तो क्वेश्चन बेसिकली ऐसे आएगा कि इफ a x1, y1, b x2, y2, c x3, y3 are the 3 points of a triangle, okay, or you have to find the value of the point, exact point that is the centroid for this triangle. हम लोगों को centroid का coordinates find out करना है. So there is a formula for that. Once again, a pretty simple formula if you understand it properly. So I'll write it now. ठीक है, फॉर्मूला डिराइव करते हैं हम लोग. सपोज दिस इज द ट्रायंगल ABC. दिस इज वन मीडियन ओनली. Okay, for our solving purposes we will only take one median. Now suppose the centroid of this triangle is somewhere here. Okay, मतलब बाकी दोनों medians अगर मैं बनाऊंगा तो वो इस point पे ही intersect होगा. You have to assume that. Suppose, ठीक है. So this is point AM. Now by property itself BM और MC equal होगा because it is the median. Okay, so that means what? M is the midpoint of B and C. Correct? M is the midpoint of B and C. If B is x2, y2, C is x3, y3, A is x1, y1. Midpoint formula हम लोगों ने अभी अभी डिराइव किया था. Point M का कोऑर्डिनेट्स क्या होगा? Suppose point M is x4, y4. Okay, suppose point M is x4, y4. तो x4 मतलब क्या होगा? x4 will be equal to x2 plus x3 divided by 3 divided by 2 I mean. ठीक है, मिड पॉइंट फॉर्मूला स्टडी किया है हम लोगों ने. मिड पॉइंट का x कोऑर्डिनेट क्या होता है? x2 plus x3 divided by 2. करेक्ट, इन दोनों का मिड पॉइंट है इसीलिए x2 plus x3 by 2. सिमिलरली y कोऑर्डिनेट क्या होगा? y2 plus y3 divided by 2. Okay, that means what? The coordinates of point M, if I have to find out, they are x2 plus x3 divided by 2, y2 plus y3 divided by 2. These are the coordinates of point M. Now, if you know the property of centroid, you must also know कि जब भी centroid draw करते हैं हम लोग किसी मीडियन पे, वो जो सेंट्रॉइड है उस मीडियन को हमेशा 2:1 रेशियो में डिवाइड करता है. ओके, हमेशा 2:1 रेशियो में डिवाइड करता है. सो इफ आई ड्रॉ मीडियन हियर ऑल्सो, वॉट एवर दिस पार्ट विल बी देयर, इसका डबल ये होगा. ओके, सो 1:2 रेशियो इज कांस्टेंट फॉर ईच एंड एवरी मीडियन. मतलब क्या हुआ? पॉइंट A और पॉइंट M को सेक्शन करने वाला ये जो पॉइंट है, दैट इज द सेंट्रॉइड. अगर मुझे फाइंड करना है तो I should know the ratio 2:1. Okay, now ignore this triangle. I'll just draw the line that is the median. This is the centroid. Suppose इसका coordinates है x, y. We have to find the centroid. Okay, this is 2:1. तो m और n का वैल्यू क्या है? 2 और 1. So point A is x1, y1. Point M is, as we found it out, x2 plus x3 divided by 2. y2 plus y3 divided by 2. Correct? This is point M. If I have to find out the value of x and y, how will I find out? Just use the section formula. We know the ratio. So section formula में क्या था? अगर x coordinate find करना है तो क्या करते हैं हम लोग? M multiplied by x2. Okay, तो यहां पे x2 क्या होगा? यहां पे अगर मैं m इसको कंसिडर करता हूं 2 को, तो इसके लिए x2 will be x2 plus x3 upon 2, ये पूरा. करेक्ट? सो m multiplied by x2 plus x3 divided by 2, that is mx2, plus n x1. Okay, x1 is just x1. ठीक है, if I consider this as n, इसको मैंने m लिया है, इसको n लिया है, so for n x1 यहाँ पे x1 ही है, so I'll just write x1 here divided by m plus n. m is 2, n is 1, so 2 plus 1. So we just need to simplify this and we'll get a formula for x. So this will be equal to, see, as I told you, m is 2. Okay, so 2 into x2 plus x3 divided by 2 plus n is just 1. So यहाँ पे 1 हो गया, इसका मतलब क्या है, यहाँ पे सिर्फ x1 आएगा, divided by 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay, so here you can see this 2 and 2 is getting cancelled. Numerator में क्या आ रहा है, x1 plus x2 plus x3, denominator में just 3. That means the x coordinate of the centroid is x1 plus x2 plus x3 divided by 3, and similarly if you solve for y, the y coordinate of the centroid will be y1 plus y2 plus y3 divided by 3. Okay, this is the centroid formula. Now I know the derivation part is a bit lengthy, you might get confused. So all you have to remember here are these three formulas. The first thing we discussed is the section formula. Okay, the formula is, if there is a point dividing a line in the ratio m is to n, the coordinates of that point are x coordinate equal to mx2 plus nx1 divided by m plus n, and y coordinate is same इसके जैसे my2 plus ny1 divided by m plus n. Okay, this is the section formula. Based on the section formula itself, there is the midpoint formula. What is the midpoint formula? X coordinate of the midpoint of any two given points x1 comma y1 and x2 comma y2 will be equal to x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and y coordinate will be y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Okay, and finally there is the centroid formula. ये कब यूज होता है? When we have to find out the coordinates of the centroid of any triangle, जिसका तीनों vertices हम लोगों को known है. Okay, so centroid will be equal to, x coordinate क्या होगा centroid का? First vertex का x coordinate plus second vertex का x coordinate plus third vertex का x coordinate divided by 3. And similarly, y coordinate of the centroid will be y1 plus y2 plus y3 divided by 3. Okay, so these three formulas are the formulas that we need to remember before starting the next exercise. Okay, now we will start with exercise or the practice set 5.2, which is the next practice set of your chapter. Okay, so the very first question is a very simple question in this practice set. It is just direct use of the formula that we studied, section formula का direct use हम लोगों को वहाँ पे करना है. Find the coordinates of point P which divides the line segment joining the points A minus 1, 7. So this is point A, suppose, and B 4, minus 3. Suppose there is a point B 4, minus 3. Okay, these are the 2 points. इनको join करने वाली line को ratio 2:3 में divide करता है. So suppose this is the point, let us say P दिया हुआ है question में, so we'll also write P. So 2:3 ratio में divide करता है ये point इन दोनों points को join करने वाली line को. P का coordinates हम लोगों को assume करना पड़ेगा. Let us assume the coordinates of P are x, y. Now we just need to find the value of x and y using the section formula. So let the coordinates of P be x, y. Okay, suppose these are the coordinates. So what we have to do is use the section formula. Therefore, by section formula, what will be x coordinate? The formula is x equal to mx2 plus nx1 divided by m plus n. Okay, all we have to do is substitute the values. M here is suppose 2. So the very first value that you suppose or assume. तो m का value मैंने अगर 2 लिया है, so for this x2 will be opposite point का x coordinate. So x2 is 4 plus n into x1 3 into minus 1 divided by m plus n 2 plus 3. Okay, so this will be equal to 8 minus 3. 3 into minus 1 is minus 3. Plus and minus will become minus. So 8 minus 3 divided by 2 plus 3, that is 5. Now 8 minus 3 is 5 divided by 5. It will be 1 only. Correct? So x coordinate क्या आया? 5 divided by 5, that is 1. Similarly, we have to find the y coordinate. The formula will be same. Y coordinate के लिए क्या होगा? m y2 plus n y1 divided by m plus n. Okay, m का वैल्यू वही है, सपोज 2 into y2 is minus 3 plus n का वैल्यू 3 है into 7 divided by 2 plus 3. Okay, now we need to find the value same तरीके से. 2 into minus 3 is minus 6 plus 3 into 7, that is 21 divided by 5. Correct? So minus 6 plus 21 is 15. 15 divided by 5, you are getting 3 as the value of y. Okay, therefore point P is (1, 3). Okay, x comma y, 1, 3. So this is the easy solution for question number 1. I'll just wait for 30 seconds till you write this down. Okay, now let us go to the second question. Question number 2. Question number 2 has 3 sub questions which are all similar to the very first question that we solved. यहाँ पे हर जगह पे the 2 points are given. हम लोगों को point of section find out करना है based on the ratio which is also given in the question. But m और n की जगह पे a और b use किया है. That's it. For example, first question हम लोग solve करते हैं. Question number 2 का first one. The point P is given to us. Point P is minus 3, 7 and point Q is 1, minus 4. Okay, and there is a point of section dividing the line joining these 2 points in 2:1 ratio. So this part is larger. 2:1 ratio. Suppose this point is point O, x, y. Okay, so a is to b ratio given है 2:1. ठीक है, so same तरीके से solve करना है जैसे first question solve किया. यहाँ पे we'll have to first find the value of x, that is nothing but mx2 plus nx1 divided by m plus n. Okay, what is mx2 and x1? Suppose m2 लिया मैंने तो multiplied by, for this x2 will be 1 plus n, that is 1 multiplied by x1, that is minus 3. Divided by m plus n, मतलब 2 plus 1. So this will be equal to 2. 1 into minus 3 will be minus 3 divided by 3. So what we are getting here is 2 minus 3, that is minus 1 upon 3. This is the x coordinate. Remember m is to n लिखा है मैंने, but question में a is to b दिया है, which means the same thing. a की जगह पे 2 और b की जगह पे 1, m की जगह पे 2 और n की जगह पे 1. So same thing we are doing. Don't get confused there. And the y coordinate will be my2 plus ny1 divided by m plus n. Okay, so m here is nothing but 2 multiplied by y2 is minus 4 plus n is 1 multiplied by 7 divided by 2 plus 1 m plus n. Correct? So minus 8 plus 7 divided by 3, that is minus 1 upon 3. So both the coordinates are same. X is also minus 1 by 3, y is also minus 1 by 3. Finally, the point of section is minus 1 by 3 comma minus 1 by 3. Okay, this is our answer. So this was question number 2, first one, which is very similar to the first question as I told you earlier. The next two questions are also just like these. So I'll just give those questions to you for your homework. Question number 2 का जो second और third sub question है, please mark those questions as your homework. It will also be mentioned in the separate file that you have with this lecture for the homework. Next, question number 3. Let us go to question number 3. Before that, I'll give you some time to make a note of this. Okay, so let us go to question 3 now. Find the ratio in which point t minus 1 comma 6 divides the line segment joining the points P and Q. उनका coordinates भी given है. So this time you have to find the value of the ratio and not the point. ठीक है, ratio find करना है हम लोग को. So let us find the ratio. Let the ratio be m is to n. Okay, so what is given in the question, I'll just show it to you. There is point P given to you. Point P is minus 3 comma 10, and also there is point Q given to you. Point Q is 6 comma minus 8. Okay, and the line joining the 2 points is divided by one another point T, which is minus 1 comma 6. ओके, बट कौन से रेशियो में डिवाइड किया है वो नहीं दिया हुआ है. हम लोगों ने क्या अज्यूम किया, m is to n. Okay, so all we have to do here is find the value of m and n. We'll just use the same section formula for this, but this time x find out करने की जरूरत नहीं है, वो already given है हम लोगों को. x क्या है यहाँ पे, -1. The point of section, उसका x और y coordinate दोनों हम लोगों को पता है already. Okay, so by section formula, what is the formula? First let us write that down. X क्या होता है, mx2 plus nx1 divided by m plus n. Okay, now in this formula whatever is known to us we will just substitute. Okay, so x का value क्या है, -1, put it here, equal to m, we don't know yet, so we'll just write it as m, multiplied by x2. For this m, what will be x2? 6, plus n, we don't know, multiplied by the value of x1 will be minus 3, divided by m plus n, which we don't know again. ठीक है, so here we have to find the value of m upon n. Remember question में बोला है find the ratio. We don't need to individually find m क्या होगा और n क्या होगा. Okay, we don't need to do that. We just have to find the ratio. तो सिर्फ ये solve करने पे हम लोगों को वो मिल जाएगा. Let us see how. So we will cross multiply this. ये m plus n को अगर मैं इस side move कर दूं, transpose कर दूं, so it will get multiplied with -1. So -1 multiplied by m plus n will be equal to, this is 6m, and -3 into n will be -3n. Okay, so positive and negative will become negative. So open the bracket now. If I multiply -1 to both the terms inside the bracket, this will become -m minus n. So minus m minus n equal to 6m minus 3n. Okay, now what we will do is m वाले terms सब एक तरफ ले लो, n वाले terms सब एक तरफ ले लो. ठीक है, so ये minus m, I'll shift it on the other side now, transpose it. Same do with minus 3n, it transpose it on the other side. So the sign will also change. Minus 3n जब यहाँ पे आएगा, it will become plus 3n, and minus n as it is equal to, यहाँ पे 6m as it is रहेगा, minus m when it goes on the other side it will become plus m. Correct? So we are getting 3n minus n is 2n equal to 7m. Okay. So from this we can easily find out the value of m upon n. Okay. n को मैं यहाँ पे shift कर दूंगा तो it will go in the denominator. 7 को यहाँ पे shift करूंगा तो again it will go in the denominator. Okay. So this will become 2. It remains here only, divided by 7. When it comes here, it will become 2 upon 7 equal to m upon n. This is the ratio that we had to find out. Okay. So the ratio of section here is 2 upon 7. This is what we had to find out. So that's what we'll write in the final statement. Therefore, the ratio of section is 2:7. Okay, यही हम लोगों को फाइंड आउट करना था. आई होप यू अंडरस्टूड दिस क्वेश्चन, विच इज वेरी सिंपल. सेम इसी तरीके से इफ यू वांट टू यूज y दिस टाइम यू कैन यूज इट. जो वैल्यू x यूज करके आया है वो y यूज करके भी आएगा. सेम वैल्यू यू विल गेट. सो इवन इफ यू टेक y कोऑर्डिनेट इंस्टेड ऑफ x कोऑर्डिनेट यू विल गेट द सेम आंसर. यू कैन डू इट ईदर वे. Okay, so I'll give you some time to make a note of this. Please finish writing this fast. Okay, so now let us go to the next question. Question number 4. Okay, question number 4. Point P is the center of the circle and AB is a diameter. So if I draw a circle, okay, point P is at its center and there is a diameter AB. Obviously, if it is a diameter, it will pass through the center. Okay. Next, find the coordinates of point B if coordinates of point A and P are 2, -3 and 2, 0. Point A का क्या है 2, -3. Point P का भी दिया हुआ है which is nothing but the midpoint of A and B. Okay, the word midpoint is important here. We have to use the midpoint formula. ठीक है, तो P का वैल्यू दिया है 2, 0. We have to find out the value of B. Okay. तो इस पॉइंट का दिया है, इसका नहीं दिया है, इसको हम लोग अज्यूम कर लेंगे x2, y2. Why only x2 and y2 we are taking? क्योंकि हम लोगों को आदत है. रिमेंबर व्हेन वी डिराइव द फॉर्मूला, पॉइंट A अगर होता है तो x1, y1, x2, y2, मिड पॉइंट इज x, y, जो कि गिवन है 2, 0. नाउ वी जस्ट हैव टू यूज द मिड पॉइंट फॉर्मूला हियर, करेक्ट, एंड वी हैव टू फाइंड द अननोन टर्म्स. ओके, सो पॉइंट P is the midpoint of AB. Okay, so therefore by midpoint formula, what is the formula? X क्या होता है x1 plus x2 divided by 2. Okay, here we know the value of x, midpoint का x coordinate, that is 2. So we'll substitute it. 2 will be equal to x1, which is again 2, plus x2, we don't know, we are finding it out, correct? So x2 as it is divided by 2. From this equation we can easily find out the value of x2. ठीक है, take 2 on the other side, it will get multiplied to 2. So 2 2s are 4 equal to 2 plus x2. Now take this 2 also on the other side, we'll get the value of x2. So therefore x2 will be equal to 4 as it is minus 2 equal to 2. So the x coordinate of point B is 2. Okay. Similarly, we have to find y coordinate also. So y coordinate के लिए once again use the midpoint formula. Okay. So y will be equal to what? y1 plus y2 divided by 2. But we already know the value of y, which is the midpoint, y coordinate of the midpoint. Therefore, 0 will be equal to y1 is -3 plus y2 we don't know yet, let us find out, divided by 2, correct? 2 will go on the other side, it will get multiplied by 0, it will become 0 only. So 0 will be equal to minus 3 plus y2, correct? So y2 will be what? Minus 3 when it goes on the other side, 0 plus 3 it will become 3 only. So y2 is nothing but 3. Okay, so the coordinates of point B, we got the answer, it is 2, 3. So finally we'll write the statement, therefore point B is 2, 3. Final answer. Okay? So very easy question once again based on midpoint formula. This is question number 4. Now just make a note of this. I'll just step aside. Okay students, so I hope you are done writing this and you also understood what we did today. We learnt section formula, midpoint formula and centroid formula. Questions based on centroid formula and midpoint formula will come ahead in the exercise, more questions I mean. So let us solve them in the next session. For this session, I hope you understood all the concepts and make sure you complete all the homework that is given to you. We'll take leave today. Thank you everyone. Bye.